And that recording will be sent out probably later on this afternoon, if not at the latest tomorrow morning. Also attached to that recording is going to be a questionnaire feedback form. It's 2 questions, should take you no more than 2 minutes. We value your opinion as students and alums here at WGU. A lot of the sessions that we end up hosting are really from the feedback that you're providing. So we do ask if you could take the time, fill that out. We would really appreciate it. I'm also going to share it in the chat later on in the session. So feel free to select that, fill out that. For us, we would really appreciate it. And we want to make sure that we're connecting you all with fantastic organizations, and Leavitt Group being one of them. We do have, I hear a lot of times from students, they ask, who are you partnered with? And with us in Career, we're really trying to put organizations that are interested in you that have great opportunities. So with Leavitt, we do have a formal partnership, and then exciting news coming down the pipeline. In 2026, WGU and Leavitt Group have partnered to launch a new certificate in accounting management, and this program marks the first in the series of certificate pathways designed for individuals beginning their careers straight out of high school or advancing their education at any stage. Each certificate will be stackable, meaning it can build toward and integrate with other WGU degree programs, providing flexibility and long-term value for learners and those who want to advance in their careers in the insurance industry. And I bring that up, it just shows you the partnership that we do have with Leavitt, and there's a lot of great value and opportunities there. So certainly want you to take advantage. We're excited to have Leavitt Group come in and present to you all and talk about their company, their organization, their culture, and the opportunities that we have, and certainly want you to feel free to ask them any questions that you're looking to get answered as WGU students and alums. So without further ado, Rylee, I will pass it over to your team, and you can all take it away.
Awesome. Very cool. Awesome. Thank you, RJ, for that introduction. We are absolutely thrilled to be meeting with you today, WGU. It's really cool to see where everybody's at in the chat. If you're just hopping on, please share your location. Leavitt Group has a pretty large national footprint, so we would love to see where you're all located. But we are excited to chat with you today. We hope to tell you about Leavitt Group, some specific opportunities that we have. And so we'll just kind of jump into things here. Want to give a quick introduction on who you're hearing from today. So I have an awesome team here with me. Just a quick introduction on myself. My name's Rylee Kruger. I'm the Director of Talent Acquisition with Leavitt Group. I've been with Leavitt Group for about 7 years now. I'm located just outside of Salt Lake City, Utah. If there is anybody in Utah, let me know in the chat. And then we've also got Michael S. Leavitt here, Chief Sales Officer, and Eric Kirby on our team of Director of Talent Strategy. Want to just give an overview here on really what to expect from our session today. And I highly encourage, please use the chat. If you have any questions at any time, I've got RJ and Mike and Eric here. We would be happy to answer your questions. We want this to be interactive. We'll have time at the end of the session to do a Q&A, but please don't hesitate to drop in the chat as well. For today, I really want to give you an introduction on who we are, right? Leavitt Group is a unique company. We are a large insurance brokerage, but we are unique compared to our competitors. So we want to talk about who we are, our culture, be able to hear from some of our people, really dive into some career opportunities. We want to talk about professional growth and explain a little bit further on this exciting partnership that we have with WGU for this new accreditation for the CSR and account manager track. And also how to get connected with us. We want to give you some takeaway items, some action items to get involved and get connected. So just to kind of start off here, I'm actually going to pass things over here to my colleague, Mike Leavitt. He's got some really great, obviously, history with Leavitt Group and some stories with his father and the connection with WGU. So MSL, I'm going to pass it over to you.
Yeah, thanks so much, Rylee, and thanks RJ and for everybody that's on the call. I'm excited to talk about with my teammates the Leavitt Group story and how you might have an opportunity to join us as we continue to build this organization and grow together. The Leavitt Group story, it starts with actually a love story between my grandparents, Ann and Dixie Leavitt. They met on the campus of Southern Utah University, which is our little local university in Cedar City, Utah. And like most students, didn't have a lot resourcefully, but one of the things that my grandfather in particular and my grandmother had in spades was they were very hard workers, and they had a real love for one another, and they worked together to build a family and ultimately a business, which is the Leavitt Group. And what's interesting is Ann and Dixie are still doing great. They're 96, my grandfather, in 93, and they're still living independently in the same house that my grandfather built the Leavitt Group in. And he started, as you can see that picture, it's one of my favorite pictures of my grandfather. He's down in his basement, starting from scratch, and it just, this movement spawned 1952, so well over 70 years ago. And as you can see the statistics there, we're in 28 states, 3,000 employees, and we're really growing fast. Interestingly enough, and I know it was touched upon earlier, my father, who's also named as Mike Leavitt, was a founder of Western Governors University. And I actually worked for Western Governors University before I went to law school and ultimately started working with the Leavitt Group. So Western Governors University is very, very near to all of our hearts here at the Leavitt Group. So while we are headquartered in Cedar City, Utah, we have offices all over the country, as you can see, 260 locations. Our revenues continue to grow and grow. Our premiums continue to grow and grow. But what's very important as we talk about the Leavitt Group is culture. And it's a word that you're going to continue to hear over and over again when you hear the words Leavitt Group. But what's interesting is culture is felt. Culture isn't usually something that you can naturally identify with words. And we've known for years that the Leavitt Group had a really positive culture. Obviously, I'm hopelessly biased, but we also received awards and a lot of other designations recognizing us for being a preferred employer, and something we're very proud of. But I would say maybe 5 or 6 years ago, we decided to make an effort at creating governing principles that were going to help us identify exactly what our core values are. Those core pillars that Ann and Dixie worked so hard to build. And those core principles are serving stakeholders, adapting, communicating with reason and civility, enjoying, aligning interests, grow profitably, and be honest and operate with integrity, which is such an important part of who we are as a company. Now, we're going to get more into some of the opportunities that within the Leavitt Group that might speak to you and that you might want to explore. And I'll just touch upon them. Of course, you can see a couple of our great employees there. And I just wanted to mention that the Leavitt Group is a very diverse organization. We respect those from all walks of life, and respecting and having civility with one another is, again, one of our governing principles. But let's get a little bit more detailed in terms of some of the opportunities that you might want to look into. So there's really kind of two opportunities, employment types, that Rylee is going to talk about a little bit more, but I'm just going to just highlight them. Number one is that of a commercial broker. And a lot of our revenue is created through writing insurance of employers, larger employers. Now, it's interesting because when you think about insurance, a lot of times people have stereotypes as to, an insurance salesman. The reality is the type of insurance brokering that we do is very sophisticated. You have to really understand contracts. You have to understand coverages. You have to understand different carriers and what those carriers are good at. We broker insurance. We don't underwrite. In other words, we are independent brokers that have professional relationships with a variety of different insurance companies, and we work with employers to provide risk management solutions to help those employers thrive with risk management. And placing of insurance policies is part of that process, just part of it. Now, these type of employees, they can do extremely well. They can make hundreds of thousands of dollars, and it is commission-based. But once you get to a certain point, there is a residual element to our profession that frankly is magical, that works really great for our professionals. Now, what differentiates us from our peers is that we have a team. We have a formula for success. We work with our brokers on the front end to achieve success. In fact, we have I guess a mantra that your success is our passion. That's what really motivates us, is to help you get to a point where you're achieving your professional dream. So that's the first type of employment opportunity for you to consider. The second one is that of a customer service representative who helps our clients once they are on our books. Now, this role is a little bit different in that it's salary. It's a good salary. It's more predictable, and we have opportunities with offices all over the country. And again, what's equally as important as making sure you're achieving your compensation goals is to make sure that you're also operating within an environment that has a very good culture, that has a very good work-life balance, and that's very, very important to us. But with that, Rylee, go ahead and take over from there.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much, MSL. That was fantastic. And I'm going to do a little bit more of a deep dive here on these two roles and what our recruiting team looks for, right? I want to just quickly, before we jump on, is going back to that culture piece. It was great to see some comments in the chat. That is really the makeup of our company. Quick story here. Eric Leavitt, our current CEO, one of the sons of Dixie Leavitt. My favorite quote, I remember when I first started working here, was, work is important, but family first. And I've seen that spread and day to day since my 7 years being here, and it spreads within all of our organizations and our agencies across the country. So just a little bit more of an explanation here on how we're structured, right? So we showed that map earlier. Leavitt Group is large. You wouldn't guess it knowing where we're, stationed in small town Cedar City, Utah, but we are in 24 states. We have over 250 locations, and we are unique. We're the 18th largest, brokerage currently nationally. And with that, we're still family owned and privately held, which is really unique. Because of that, we're able to keep a really strong culture. When we partner with these, we call them agencies across the country, we make sure that that culture aligns. They lean on Leavitt Group for national resources to best serve their clients, right? So that's where we mention here, we're going to focus on, sales roles and account manager roles, but on our corporate side of these resources that we offer our agencies, we have a ton of opportunities in media and marketing, IT, legal, HR. No matter your background, we have a fit, and we're always looking to level up and serve our agencies better. So wanted to touch a little bit there. The first track I'm really going to focus on here is a sales career, right? As Mike mentioned, we are that middleman broker between insurance carriers and clients, whether they be businesses or on the personal side. We really specialize in risk, liability, as well as employee benefits, group benefit plans for our employees, and also personal insurance. So some of the things, what it really looks like to be what we call a risk advisor or an employee benefit sales professional at Leavitt Group, every day is different, right? It's a very collaborative sales approach. So if you have that innate drive to want to, serve customers, you want to have control of your income, and you want to build a really long, lucrative, and stable career, this is a great industry to look at. Insurance probably isn't the shiniest thing that you see when you look at a career, but it is, like I said, very stable, and we are in the business of helping people. Some things that are really cool about a sales role at Leavitt Group is that uncapped new and renewal commission, right? So we really want to make sure that you know that the sky is the limit. When our agencies are looking for a potential sales professional to join Leavitt Group, we really like to focus on a few core things. Background doesn't matter so much. We really like to focus on the makeup of what could make a strong sales professional. So number one, we look for personal ability. Can you talk to people? Can you build trust with decision makers? And second thing we look for is technical ability. Now, insurance isn't rocket science, but it can get technical, it can get complex. So do you have the technical ability to really understand and present kind of a complex industry to clients? The third thing that we look for is sales ability, right? Can you go in, can you build relationships? Can you run a full sales cycle from beginning to end? And then the last thing that we look for, we kind of joke internally with my recruiting team, we call it a PhD. Now, you don't need a PhD to be a sales professional here, but it stands for poor, hungry, driven. What we mean by that is somebody who is really willing to give it everything, that has a strong drive. This is a fantastic career to look at, no matter what background you're coming from, because you're able to help individuals, help clients, and really grow long-term success. The next role that I want to talk about that's very commonly hired for, that we are constantly looking for on all of our Leavitt agencies, is an account manager, or we may call it a CSR, customer service representative. This individual, this role really helps our sales producers be able to grow books of businesses. They help service and support our clients. They build long, meaningful relationships, and they make a really big difference in what we're growing. They handle any insurance renewals, handle new business, client support, and there's also long-term growth opportunity to be team leaders here. So if you are kind of built in the way of, you have kind of that service heart, but you like to be challenged and grow and you want to learn in this industry, this is a fantastic career to look at. Insurance, some of our, long employees that have done these roles for years, I talk to them within Leavitt Group and they say, I am still learning something new every single day. Insurance is so broad. It's something that you can always grow if you have a passion in. There's always something new to learn. And I think that's a really awesome thing to look at. This account manager role, we are, it depends on kind of the agency, but we looked at hiring just out of college, recent college grads. We look at hiring people with experience. We're honestly looking for somebody who aligns with our culture and who's willing to really work hard and make a difference at our agencies. And this is the track of the accreditation system that we are launching with WGU. And I'll let Eric speak on that a little bit further. So Eric Kirby, I'm going to go ahead and pass it off to you. He's fantastic. He's a recent member to the Leavitt family. He's got a very impressive background, works a lot. He's got books published focusing on working with Gen Z. He's our director of talent strategy. So Eric, I'm going to let you give an introduction on yourself and then also talk a little bit about what professional growth we are investing with our people at Leavitt Group.
Yeah, thanks, Rylee. Rylee, can you hear me okay? I can see you on my screen. Yeah. Perfect. Okay. Hey, good to be with y'all. Yeah, Eric Kirby, I'm the Director of Talent Strategy. And so one of my main roles is to help our employees upskill at every level. Gone are the days where we just expect employees to show up and be loyal to a company and not get anything in return. And so we recognize that one of the best ways to help employees out and to feel comfortable with career growth and success and be able to feel like they can take advantage of new opportunities that arise and make sure they have that stability in their life is through professional growth. So we've implemented and are launching several key things that I think you're going to be very interested in. Number one is we're really focusing in on future-ready learning. We're providing an LMS system, a learning management system that's going to provide ongoing, on-demand education to keep your leveling up to speed. And this could be on the technical side, but also on just the soft skill or power skills that we know are so critical with the changing world we live in, right? Between AI and demographics and customer expectations, etc. So giant LMS system. One-on-one coaching with me. Right before this, I was actually in a one-on-one session with an individual out in South Dakota where we're talking about time management, productivity, and habit formation. And so you'll get access to that one-on-one coaching at any time. We're also developing and launching peer roundtables where you'll be able to connect with colleagues in your same role or similar roles from across the nation. We have found that by pairing you with individuals in your same role, you can talk best practices, we can solve problems together, and you can learn how other individuals are overcoming communication barriers or persuasion tactics or anything like that. So peer roundtables are going to be a a well-welcomed resource in any of the positions you're in. And then monthly trainings. I do monthly development trainings from understanding or working with different generations to effective communication, active listening, emotional intelligence. So you'll be able to stay ahead of the curve, be aware of the upcoming trends or needs in the business world, and make sure you're up to speed there. The other one that's been alluded to is we're also partnering with WGU, and this will be another way, a fifth avenue, if you will, to make sure that you're upskilling and taking advantage of a certification that will be offered through WGU. On our level, we're going to be looking at badging and micro-credentialing, but so bottom line is there's a lot of cool ways to continue to grow professionally. We do not expect that you arrive and you just sit at your desk and locked and loaded and don't learn anything throughout your career. We want you to learn and grow and become, and that's the Leavitt way. So we're excited about these. Rylee, I'll kick it back to you on that.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. Yeah, thank you, Eric. He's kind of heading up that exciting accreditation coming. Eric, do you mind giving maybe a little bit more information on what it would look like, maybe how long the course is, or what they would learn and take away from? Because we've had a big hand in giving recommendations on the actual material being taught that our agencies are actively looking for from new employees.
Yeah, absolutely, Rylee. Thanks for that. So yeah, this partnership with WGU, we're going to be doing a certificate for account management, and that will be the first of several certificates that will come out. We'll be doing one for producers and other particular positions coming down the road. These certificates are going to be 3 months or less, and will range in a couple of $100s. You can do them right out of high school, or you can do it in conjunction with one of the other programs that you're doing. These certificates will get you ready to enter into the workforce with the Leavitt Group, to be able to enter into those positions ready on the tech side, but also on the soft skill, power skill side to jump in. We're hoping everything's on track for a January launch. So just in a few more months, that certification will be coming ready, and it will be all virtual, all online. So you can do it from anywhere. You can go at your own speed, which is one of the brilliant things that WGU does. So take advantage of that and other certificates that will be coming out. It's a great way to build your resume, make sure you're ready, and make sure that you're head and shoulders above maybe some other people that are trying to get into this awesome field.
Awesome. Thank you, Eric. Appreciate that. Yes, we'll have more information coming, and we'll make sure we forward it to RJ as well. If anyone is interested in that, please reach out to us, reach out to RJ. We want to make sure that we get you that information. Just to make sure I didn't break anything, can you still see my screen, RJ? Is everything looking fine? All right, sounds good. I did bring my mouse back to life here. Thank you. We're so lucky. We're happy to have Eric Kirby on board. He really is fantastic, and we want to invest in not only finding the best people and the best talent, but we want to keep them long term, right? Retaining people is extremely important to Leavitt Group, and we know that you're looking for long-term career opportunities to grow, and that's where our focus is. So thanks so much, Eric, for that. I appreciate it. We're going to kind of move on here on just kind of some call to action, next steps. We want to just, I have a quick video here. I'll talk as it's playing, but want to give you a visual here. This is our career board. It's leavitt.com/careers. Don't worry, at the end, we're going to have some QR codes for you. So don't rush on writing it down. You can also drop it in the chat. Want to talk on this Leavitt Group career interest form. Please go to that link at any time. Please consistently look at our career board. If there are opportunities that align with your background, fantastic. If there's not, we want to stay connected with you. This career interest form gets you directly into our system, so that way we know your name, where you're located, where you ideally would like to work and relocate potentially, and also some fields that you may be interested in. And as soon as Leavitt Group, we open up a position that matches that background, it connects us to you and it keeps you top of mind. So even if we don't have anything right now, please still connect with us, get in our system, so that way we can consistently be connecting with you and about future opportunities that could be of your interest and that could help align with ours. Really here. So we're going to kind of just wrap things up here. We'll keep it short and sweet. I know we're a little bit early, but we want to make sure we answer questions. But here's just a few resources and sites. The QR codes should work. If they don't, I apologize, but they should. Just a little bit more. If you want to learn more about Leavitt Group, who we are, what we specialize in, our background, we got Leavitt Group's website. We have our job board right there if you do want to take a look to see anything that is interesting to you. And then right here, that career interest form as well for these QR codes. I will also put my LinkedIn in here as well. If I could put it in the chat, I will. Connect with me on LinkedIn. Reach out to us if you are interested in learning more about Leavitt Group, about the different positions that we hire for, or anything that we've kind of gone over today. But we want to open it up, if that's okay, to maybe some Q&A, RJ. So I'll kind of pass it over to you and let you kind of go at that point.
Yeah, so as people are formulating their questions, feel free to post those into the chat. If you feel, a little ambitious and want to ask it directly, just we ask you can raise your hand. I'll call on you, and then you can go ahead and ask your question. I would say with questions, just make sure they are, focused with in mind the entire group. Make sure that when you're asking those questions, it's not just solely about you, your current situation. Make sure that we're respectful of others and keeping those questions geared towards the entire group. As people are coming up with some of those questions, I have a question to kick us off. Especially with how competitive the job market is, what are some recommendations that you all might have for individuals to really stand out during the application process? And even taking that a step further, maybe not just during the application process, but also during the interview process. Like, is there something that individuals have done previously that really jumped out to you? I'd love to hear your perspectives on that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we can all kind of tackle this question. To kind of answer it, you know what, we like I said, we really look for patterns of behavior, skill sets, culture. These are things that are extremely important to us, right? So within the application system, we do get a lot of applicants. Some things that can help you stand out: connect with us directly, right? Write a note to us expressing your interest in the role. In the interview process, I think coming prepared with some knowledge on the insurance industry, where Leavitt Group falls, that's extremely helpful as well. Sometimes when we talk to potential candidates, we do a lot of explaining on what it looks like. So I think coming prepared of knowledge on the insurance industry, coming prepared with questions to show that you're really invested and you're thinking about things in the right way. I would say those are some key takeaways as well. But I'd love to hear anything from Mike or Eric on kind of some things that stand out to them.
I'll mention this, and you touched upon it, but aligned interests. We're very keen on having teammates that want to build a career with us. We're a growing company, and opportunities are abundant as we continue to develop and grow as a business. And as Eric had mentioned during his part of the presentation, we're committed to helping our employees just continue to get better and better, and to help them reach their potential and to reach their career goals. The other thing I would just add is we're very community minded. We have over 260 locations, and in every one of those locations, we are committed to making our communities better. Yes, we are a for-profit operation, and yes, risk management is certainly a core competency that we're laser focused on, but we are every bit as passionate about helping our communities be better. And we do that with a variety of initiatives, including an initiative called Leavitt Engage that I won't bore you with the details on. But when we see like-minded people that want to join our movement, if you will, that's very attractive. Eric.
Yeah, and I'm going back to my professor days of counseling MBA students here, so bear with me. I'll state a few of the obvious. Make sure you're tailoring the application. I'm amazed at how often it's just the generic. Make sure that the employer understands why you want to work with them. Check to make sure it has their name in it. Make sure that your name's spelled correctly. The other big thing that I think you miss out on so often is you don't show outcomes, you just talk about duties. I was responsible for this, I did this. Show outcomes. What growth occurred, what percentage of retention or expansion, or how much money was earned or saved. Make sure that you're talking about those things. Make sure you got a compelling cover letter if that's relevant, and make sure you research the company and you actually know why you would be a good fit for that company and that role. Too often, at least on when I was interviewing, not necessarily with Leavitt Group, the individuals didn't even know why they wanted to work there, or what the company really did, or the ins and outs. So I get that's a very fundamental baseline, but I'm amazed at how many people get weeded out just by missing those four things. So that would be my additions to what Rylee and Mike have said.
Awesome. I love that. And I also just want to highlight too, you had covered it a bunch throughout the presentation, but just the emphasis on investing in your employees with a lot of the training, I think that's huge. Not enough companies do that. And I know, especially with our students, like I think that's something that they really look for. So I really appreciate that you offer those types of opportunities. We do have a question in the chat, or a couple questions in the chat. First one is always a great one, and that incorporates AI. So, how do you envision the insurance industry changing with AI? How will this impact careers within the industry?
Yeah, I'll lob something out there, and then Mike and Rylee go ahead. And the AI is fascinating, and one of the things about Leavitt Group is they are being very proactive. I think they're actually being more proactive than a lot of companies out there in the adoption of AI and the use and training of AI. Leavitt Group is not looking at AI as an evil thing that's coming to take jobs. It's how are we using it to leverage and train our employees to more efficiently use it and do it better. The analogy I love about AI is that AI isn't necessarily going to replace jobs, but people who know how to use AI are going to replace people's jobs. So you need to be knowledgeable of AI. You need to know how to use it, and it's going to make your world a ton more efficient. So from analysis to policy reviews to emails to succinct writing to tone changes. I've seen AI used at Leavitt Group in 1,001 different ways to make the job easier, to make it more practical, to make it more efficient. So to answer that question from my perspective, I think AI is going to make it's going to shift careers a little bit as far as jobs. I think it's going to make them more effective. But if we look at careers as a dental hygienist, a dentist kind of version, I think it's taking people from maybe working on a lot of routine, everyday things and freeing up time for them to really start drilling in and focusing in on cavities or big problem. I think too often in the professional world, we're so tied up with paperwork and the mundane that we don't actually have time to think and do. And what I've seen is AI is freeing up a ton of time for people to think and do and elevate their positions and their roles and their careers even further. So I think the insurance industry is just going to continue to become more effective, more efficient, more productive with AI. Mike, Rylee, what would you add?
Yeah, I'll just add that we don't see AI as a threat. We see it as an opportunity. We see it as a tool. And to Eric's point, we've spent a lot of time understanding it and training our employees on how to use AI as a supplement. In the end of the day, with our industry and so many others, trust is what ultimately creates partnerships and client relationships, and I don't think that's going to change with AI. I think, and so that person to person is something I think will always be a part of our industry, and yet AI can make us better. And I think with the right attitude and just being very committed to understanding it as it evolves. I mean, let's just be honest, AI is just in the toddler phase. As we continue to understand it and use it to help us be better, I think it's just going to make us more efficient and a better partner.
Yeah, absolutely. Everything Echo they said. The insurance industry is such a relationship-based industry, especially where Leavitt Group lies in the insurance industry. It's not going to take away that handshake and that face-to-face interaction that we need to see from our roles. It will help us be better in our roles, even in that account manager role, right? It can help us speed up renewal processes, quotes, but we won't ever send a policy to a client, to a customer, without a human looking at it at the end of the day, but it can help us get there quicker. So, and I agree, Leavitt Group, we have discussions on this with all of our leaders frequently to how we can stay ahead of the game with AI. So that's a great question.
Next question that we have is from Mark. Feedback is huge when applying for positions. Do you know if there is a contact in Leavitt that we can use to receive feedback on positions we apply for?
Great question. You know what? That's a big thing within our talent acquisition team that we like to focus in is giving feedback to candidates that we are interviewing with. So as far as a resource, if you are interviewing, if you are applying for positions within our organization, contact me, contact anybody on my talent acquisition team at any time. We would love to give you feedback, right? Feedback on what we're looking for, feedback on areas that maybe you could grow and whatnot. So as far as giving feedback in that interview process, that's something that we like to do, and we're always open to that conversation. So if you are applying for any position within Leavitt Group, you have my contact information. Please reach out to me. I will connect with you or somebody on my team, and we'd love to give you that feedback to point you in the right direction, and also ensure that you're getting that resource as well. Eric, I don't know if you have anything here you want to add as far as kind of that training development side.
Yeah, and you know, I appreciate what Rylee's saying with feedback. One of my suggestions here would be make sure that you're asking for feedback in the right way. Don't necessarily ask, hey, why didn't I get the job, or why didn't I get the interview? Instead, hey, what can I do to put myself in a better position, you know, for the next opportunity or the next go around? So it's more of a constructive conversation, and this is not only with Leavitt Group, with any company out there. I think most people want feedback and want to learn. And I think phrasing the question right as far as a positive and what can I do? What skills do I need to bring to the table? What can I go out and develop? What do I need to do better? And I think most companies and agencies, and I know Rylee and her team, are more than willing to help you out. We want to see everyone succeed.
Yeah, great question. Any other questions?
I'll give people a second to post questions into the chat. Just a reminder, the session is being recorded, so if you do want to go back and reference anything that was covered, please feel free to do that. And I'll give people another minute. I have another quick one, and would love to hear, you know, what are some things maybe over the next 5 years that really excites you in terms of the direction that the Leavitt Group is moving towards? You don't have to go too much into detail, but just curiously, you know, one hitter type thing, you know, is there something that really jumps out to you that excites you moving forward?
Yeah, a lot. It's actually something I didn't kind of mention. We were talking about our size, but our growth, right? We are projected to double in size in the next 5 years, our company, which is an ambitious goal, but we have prepared for that, and we are growing at a rate that makes sense. And so I would say within the insurance industry, what you see is a lot of kind of bigger conglomerates that are acquiring agencies, right? And so where we come in and where we're different is when we partner with an agency and we grow and we, you know, maybe have a new footprint in a new state, we like to keep kind of that local representation. So you'll notice if we partner with an agency in, you know, let's say Ohio, we don't come in and change their name. We don't rebrand it. We find there's a lot of strength and local trust and a community feel. People want to buy from people that they know. And so now we're partnered with Leavitt Group where they can have better resources for their clients. And so this is what really helps us grow in a way that keeps our culture strong of that national strength, local trust. But we do want to grow. We are positioned to do that. And it is a really exciting time to be a part of Leavitt Group because of the growth that we're already experiencing year by year. Mike, I don't know if you want to add a little bit about maybe what you're...
Absolutely. You said it so well. We have very ambitious goals, and they're not just goals that aren't backed up by performance. Over the last 10 years, we've grown exponentially. But you know, there's a couple of things. We grow through acquisition, and we grow through organic growth. And acquisition, or we call them affiliations, is when we go to an existing agency and we see if they're a fit. And this is important because there have been many, many times where we've had a good opportunity from a numbers perspective, but because the culture, our values didn't align, we will pass that up 100 times out of 100, right? But when we find the right partners, that's when we will, and the numbers are right, we will affiliate with them. Now, why does it matter to you? Why does it matter to our employees? Well, simple. As our company grows, your opportunities will grow too. You want to be a part of a growing business because the opportunities for your personal growth will advance.
Yeah, and I would just, yeah, I'd piggyback off both those and say, on top of what they mentioned about the growth and the excitement surrounding, I'm excited for the emphasis that Leavitt Group's continuing to place back on employees and employees first. And so many of the cool initiatives that have been implemented and continue to be a focus that despite the mass amount of growth, such as our Engage model, getting back to the community and providing service. We're launching a new performance management system that will start linking specific skills and upskilling to your specific role and outlining career tracks and trajectories there for you. Wellness programs that are coming out, making sure that it's a holistic employee. And we recognize that you spend in many instances more time at work than maybe you do with your family. And so making sure that we were taking care of the holistic employee. From the benefit packages that are offered, Leavitt Group does a tremendous job on the benefit packages that it offers, to the learning management systems that are coming, to the partnerships with WGU. All of these things get me really excited that despite the growth and despite the fast pace, employees will continue to be put first in everything that it does, and it's modeling that through all these different things.
Eric, you said that perfectly. I'll just briefly add that I love what you said in terms of just the holistic employee experience. Look, compensation is critical. We have to be competitive when it comes to compensation, but the research shows, and it's very clear, that people want a complete employee experience. They want to be able to give back to their community. They want to feel good from a health perspective. So we have a wellness program. There's all sorts of resources that we're investing back into the company, back into our people, because really at the end of the day, our company, they're our people. And if we're not treating our people right, then we don't have a good business. So anyway, well said, Eric.
Yeah. I want to share, if that's okay, a quick story, kind of going off of that, and also speaking to just our culture really quickly. I recently was meeting with a recent agency affiliate that partnered with Leavitt Group, and we were talking about what was it, right? What was it that really impressed you, that made that move comfortable? And he said, we actually, Eric Leavitt and our board, they open up their board meetings to potential affiliates for just full transparency. They let them come and join. And there was somebody presenting at this board meeting a new benefits package for Leavitt Group employees, right? Where it would actually cost the employees almost double what we'd be paying now. And Eric Leavitt stopped the meeting and said, you know what? We're not going to do that to our employees. This is important. We want to invest in them. Having that full benefits package is extremely important. So you know what, we're good at this point. And that is something that held weight with our recent partner, and was a big part of him joining Leavitt Group, was just seeing the transparency and seeing how our CEO is extremely employee first orientated, and that goes all the way from the top down to the bottom. So I just wanted to share that story as well.
I love that, and that's such a great example to share with people. Just showing investing in employees, keeping them in mind too. Just a reminder to everyone, and Madeline just made it, that is so rare. So we certainly appreciate you sharing that. Reminder to everyone, session's being recorded. I'm going to share in the chat right now the questionnaire, and as we wrap up here, I want to give the Leavitt Group final closing remarks. Anything that you all want to share? I will just say, Rylee, Mike, Eric, that was fantastic. We really appreciate you all jumping in, giving your time, sharing insights into the company. I know that it'll be huge for those that attended here, and then those that go back and watch the recording. But want to just end it with any closing remarks that you all might have for us here at WGU.
I think I would just add, just to express gratitude to all those that are on the call. You're bettering your lives. You're continuing to enhance your professional credentials. And my hat's off. Just, whether you look at the Leavitt Group or some other employment option, I just commend you for continuing to advance in your career, in your life.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I added on that. Thank you, everybody, for being here, for hearing from us. I'm super excited going forward. Please connect with us. I can't wait to see some WGU students coming in through our application systems, through our job board. It's going to be awesome to see. Like I said, open door, contact us anytime. we're super excited for not only this partnership with WGU and how this is going to grow going forward. So yeah, thank you so much. And if Eric, you want to add anything?
Yeah, thanks for your time and keep going. I actually just pulled up a message that I sent to my daughter yesterday. It was a little meme. She's kind of struggling with some things, and it says, keep going because you deserve to see what happens when all your hard work pays off. So don't give up, keep going, pursue that education, pursue your dreams, and we hope that Leavitt Group can be a part of your amazing journey as you continue down this path. But it will be worth it. Be patient, believe in yourself, but it will be worth it.
Keep going.
Awesome. And thank you, RJ. Thank you so much for setting this up and having us be here. It's been a pleasure.
Well, thank you. And like I said, thank you three for jumping in and sharing a little snapshot of Leavitt Group. We certainly appreciate it. And just a reminder, everybody, the recording will be sent out. So if you do want to go back and listen to any of those fantastic remarks, make sure you're going and checking that out. And what we'll do, we'll wrap up from here and give people a little bit of time back in their day. And we hope that you have a fantastic rest of the week. Take care, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.